Hi String Along Quilt Guild members. Welcome to part one of our String Along Summer Sew Along. Today I'm going to be sharing part one with you of the quilt block that we're going to be making and talking a little bit about the quilt. So we decided to have a little simple summer sew along, it's easy to say, for everyone in the guild who wants to participate. Each month in the newsletter there will be instructions for cutting and for piecing. There'll be pictures of the blocks that we're making, and it's really going to be very simple because it's going to only be two parts to this block. And then we're also going to put the two parts together at our next at part two, and we will put them into a quilt. And the quilt size, I'm drawing a blank at what it is, but it's going to be a twin size quilt. And there will be 42 blocks, 42 12-inch blocks in the quilt. So today we're going to start with just a little bit of a review. I chose my colors, and hopefully you've chosen your colors too for the sew along. If you haven't, you still have time to do that. For my colors, I chose to go kind of tropical, summery colors. And in the instructions, you'll notice that there is a light background, a medium, and a dark fabric. And so for mine, I did a white grunge background. And instead of doing light, medium, and dark colors, I chose to do warm and cool colors. And you can see by looking here at the color wheel, everything on this half of the color wheel are cool colors. So purple, blues, greens. And so everything on this side of the color wheel is warm colors. So we have the pinks, the oranges, the reds, the yellows. So instead of doing medium and dark, I did warm and cool. So you can still do mediums and darks if that's what you're going to work with. This quilt lends itself to lots of different color choices. You could do a red, white, and blue quilt. You could do red, green, and white for Christmas, or maybe even a Halloween colors. It's up to you. But I've put the instructions for cutting in last month's newsletter, and in this month's newsletter that's going to be coming out, you'll have instructions for putting together the first half of the block. And so in half the block, we're going to have two of the same block for each of the blocks, and I'll explain that a little bit better here. And so let me get this piece here. So this is our block. This is the first part of part one of our block. And so we're going to be working with the medium colors today, and then next week we'll work with the dark colors, but we're going to work with the medium and then the background color. So we have in the instructions in the newsletter are what size the different block sizes need to be. And if we look at the layout of the block, you can see that it's almost a 9-patch block, but it's really an 8-patch block. So normally you would have another white one here and then maybe another colorful one here if you were doing a 9-patch. But this is going to be an 8-patch. And so in the first row, which is the top row, we have a medium background and a medium. The second row, we have a background, a medium, and a background. The third row, we have a medium, and then we have a background rectangle. Everything else is the squares. And so we're going to sew these together in rows. So we'll sew row 1 together, then we'll sew row 2 together, then row 3 together, and then we're going to sew the 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3. And we're going to be pressing up. So we're pressing away from the rectangle down here at the bottom. And this is just going to help with ease of construction when we add the second half of our block next month. So let me show you so for each quilt block that we're making, we are going to make 2 blocks like this. Okay, and so we'll be adding in 2 more blocks to create the 12-inch block next week, and it will use the dark colors and background colors next week. And so when I put these 2 together for demonstration purposes for you here today, because I already have the quilt all together, and I will actually be showing that next month. So it's a very quick little sew along, quick little mystery. So it's only 2 parts. So we want to keep it sweet and simple for summertime because we're all busy. So you're going to need 2 blocks for, like I said, for each one. And what I did is when I was piecing them together, I just kind of clipped them together with these little wonder clips, you know, just to keep my pairs together. Or you could just pin them. Because when I made up my quilt, I only used 1 color and then my background color. And so when I made up these, I mixed up the colors, and they're kind of similar, but they're all different fabrics because I went with corals, oranges, and pinks. So I mixed it up. So you can get kind of 2 different looks from it. Let me put this in the correct position here. If you want to keep it, you know, the same color for both blocks, and you would make, you know, in this case 2 orange blocks. If you wanted to make it mixed up, you would make 2 with the varying different color mediums that you have. It kind of just gives it a little bit more scrappy look to do it that way than to have the 1 solid color with the background. So the choices are up to you. And like I said, this is half the block, half of the 12-inch block. And we're going to be making 42 blocks. So we're going to have a 6 by 7 layout when we put our quilt together. So we'll have 6 blocks by 7 blocks. And so we're going to need to make 84 of these, of unit 1. Okay, let's call that unit 1 because this is part 1. So we'll make 84 of these, and you'll keep them in the pairs to be put in the quilt block for next week's block. Well, not next week, next month's block. So you have plenty of time in between now and then. These go together really easy. So you'll have plenty of time to get it together and be ready to make the second part of the block next month. And so we're going to meet here again on the 4th Thursday of the month. So, you know, Bonnie has her meeting the 2nd Thursday of the month, just like our normal guild meetings. And then I'll be here again on the 4th Thursday of the month. So I'll see you all again. If you have any questions, you know that you can always come into the quilt shop, Sweet Stitches Quilt Shop. You know that I, for those of you that don't know me, I own Sweet Stitches Quilt Shop, and I am Joan. And myself or Darla or Linda can help you choose any fabrics that you need help with, or if you have any questions about putting the block together. So until we see you again next month, enjoy your summer and keep it sweet and simple. Thank you.